Hi, Guelph Moms. It's Tamsen. Welcome to the Tamsen Connects Guelph Moms podcast. I've put this together for the members of the Guelph Moms Supporting Moms Facebook group. I hope that you find it useful and helpful. I'm connecting members of the group with each other and with resources and with fun ideas for things like self-care and keeping kids busy while we're trying to work from home, where our kids might be, we might be homeschooling, our kids might be homesick. So I hope you find this helpful. If you would love to suggest another topic, get in touch with me, give me feedback. If you'd love to be a guest, you can always contact me through the Guelph Mom Supporting Moms Facebook group or private message me on Facebook. And you could also reach me through email, tamsen@tamsenconnects.com. So I hope you enjoy the episode. Welcome. Okay, we are here for another episode of the Tamsen Connects Guelph Moms podcast. So I have with me Shanan Cunnington. And Shanan, right? Not
yes.
The usual spelling of Shanan.
I spell my name differently than 90% of the Shanans out in the world. Yes.
Right.
At Starbucks this morning, I got called Shanan though, and I'm like, no, it's just Shanan. Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool though.
Yeah.
When you when you want to sound exotic, I'm Shanan.
I'm Shanan. Shanan.
Yes. So Shanan and I can't believe we've known each other less than 2 years.
Feel like we've been friends for half of my lifetime.
I know. And we both find connection really important. So we're here to talk about the importance of connection as part of knowing ourselves. Self-care is partly about being aware and knowing ourselves. And we're going to dig into a lot of different things about that. You do course design.
I do.
And you also run Embrace Network. So anyone watching who has a side gig or is an entrepreneur, hopefully you will come back and we will talk, because it's a really important thing. Connection is a really important thing.
Yes.
For business owners and entrepreneurs. I know for me, when I started my entrepreneurial journey, none of my friends got it. It was a very strange. Mm-hmm. But I started connecting with other entrepreneurs in Guelph, and I just found like those were my people.
Yeah,
so
and that's really important, because so many people think being an entrepreneur is a solo journey, right? Like, I started a business, this is my business. But the more we all learn, it takes a village to run a business. So that's my mentality, and that's why I run Embrace Networking, and we're doing it virtually right now and through the pandemic. But yeah, it's a place where we can connect with each other, we can learn from each other, learn about each other, and from all of that, we grow our businesses. So yes, and but that's the side gig. That's our side topic for today. I'm here as a mom today.
Okay, and we yes, and I'm also talking a bit about an event I'm running over the week of Women's Day. I believe is Monday, March 8th. Yes. So my event is happening the 7th to the 13th, which is the Sunday to Saturday. And I'm hoping you're planning on being part of our panel on Friday, which is talking about redefining work as well. So there is a chance to talk more about that later.
Yeah.
But yes, right now, this podcast is more geared toward my Mom Supporting Moms audience, and really trying to, I started this after the pandemic started. Self-care is always an issue, having time for ourselves. And part of what I hear and what I love digging into are the identity changes, because a lot of people understand that when, there's more jobs you have to do, you have more responsibility, but often people don't realize how much it feels like it changes who you are.
So true. Yeah. So if I can share a little bit of my story. So sure. I had an infertility journey first. So I spent 8 years with my first husband trying to have children. And I'm that girl that always wanted kids. I can remember being in grade 6, taking the babysitting course, going, I can't wait to have my own kids and do it my way.
Yeah.
And then spent 8 years unsuccessfully, went through one round of in vitro, which was unsuccessful. It was really tough. We ended up divorcing. That was only one of the factors, but it was certainly a factor. And then I met someone, well, I didn't meet someone. I spent some time with a friend of mine. We ended up in a relationship. That sounds terrible. We fell in love. And then
Jazz
I had
hands.
we fell in love. And then we had 2 kids. So it was a miracle for me, because when he started talking about kids, I'm like, I can't have kids. I'm infertile. I have tried for a very long time. So that was my journey. And then, nope, I'm not infertile. Everything's good with everything works with me. So it was just needed to be the right match. So I have been blessed with 2 amazing children. And I was 36 when I got pregnant with my son and had him, and I've always wanted 2. So I'm like, I'm not waiting. So I had 2 kids within 18 months of each other. And my son was 9 months old when I got pregnant. So I was overlapping. I was still breastfeeding. Breastfeeding is not a birth control method. FYI. I didn't think that it would. I wanted to get pregnant. And I'm blessed that my body worked the way I actually wanted it to on the second try. So I had 2 kids really quickly, was in a fairly new relationship. So there were all kinds of struggles in terms of I had one marriage, and now all of a sudden I'm with a new partner and we have 2 kids, and I completely lost myself. You talk about identity, and I lost it. And then a couple of other major life events happened. So I was struggling with my relationship. Once my second born, my daughter, was about a year old, there were some major things that happened where I started questioning whether this relationship was actually meant to be. But because my lifelong dream was to be a mom, the whole idea of being a part-time mom was devastating. I'm like, nope, not an option. I must stay. I need to be in my kids' lives every single day. It's more important than anything. It took me 2 years to realize, and my sister's wise voice in my ear saying, if you stay there, your children will never really know you. I wasn't bringing my best self forward. And I know that's what you're talking about with Redefining Success, the event you're having. So I am so happy to be able to come here and share my story that I did lose myself. Before I had kids, I did triathlons. And I always imagined I would be this fit, healthy, pregnant person. I was not. I started throwing up for my first pregnancy. I started throwing up literally 2 weeks after conception, and threw up all the way through my 18 hours of labor. And as soon as Matthias was born, oh my God, I don't feel like throwing up anymore. The first
That's
time
rough.
in 10 months. That's crazy. So yeah, I was sick. So I couldn't run. And like I said, I was still breastfeeding, and I found difficulty. I am a small-breasted woman, and running for me with these much bigger boobs was so weird. So I did not run. And then I got pregnant again, sick again, not nearly as sick, but still, like, I threw up every day. Oh no, that's not true. I had a 6-week reprieve in my second trimester, but then still. Anyway, so that's my story. I lost myself. I didn't know who I was. So now I'm not athletic anymore. I have 2 kids. I have more jobs and more responsibilities than I ever imagined. And preparing to be a mom was who I was. I'm like, I am ready. I am more ready than everybody else I know. And you never are. You just can never prepare yourself. And every relationship, so every parental relationship is different. Every parent-child relationship is different. So you can never imagine all of the interconnections and all of the different relationships and what that feels like, juggling all of them. So I'm so looking forward to your week. So Tamsen,
Yes.
share with us why do people want to come to Redefine Success from March 7th to 13th?
I've really designed, now it's all packed full of a whole bunch of goodness right now, but I want to walk the line between there's a whole bunch of stuff to do and a whole bunch of value and overwhelming people. Right. So the backbone of this event was created with the busy mom in mind, that you're only expected to, or the hope is you'll have 10 minutes a day.
10 minutes a day. Everybody can find 10 minutes. Yes.
Hopefully. I've said this is probably not for moms of newborns, but it's a combination. So the backbone is a combination journaling and meditation program that I've designed with prompts specifically. So you journal according to the prompt. There will be an intro kickoff. If you're not sure how the heck to journal or what I'm talking about, don't worry, I got you covered.
Yes.
But a combination meditation to get you ready to journal, to get you into the mood to journal and ready, because if our wheels are spinning, we may not be able to devote our full attention. And then 6 journaling prompts to 5 actually, and then a review.
Right.
To really dig into who you are now and what's important to you. Because just taking the time to ask those questions and having some pointed questions about what's important to you now, how has this changed since you've become a parent, is really intended to guide, at least start or help people take a few steps along their journey to becoming more aware of who they are, accepting of who they are now. And the whole event is kind of arranged around making it okay and normal that this change has happened.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Because my own experience was not quite the same as yours, but similar. And I always wanted to have kids. I imagined I was going to be have this huge family, love getting down on the floor with my kids, playing, and just I had this vision of what it was going to be.
Yeah.
I didn't find, and of course, when I was a kid, I was hammered with, you finish school, which I didn't finish school till I was 34.
Right.
I kept going.
You kept going and going and going.
You get married and then it's okay to have kids. So there's a lot of people who do it differently, and that is a-okay, but I was stuck in that box.
In that paradigm. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And I was diagnosed with stage 4 endometriosis, so I knew it would be hard to get pregnant.
Yep.
Then but I beat the odds. I got pregnant within 6 months, and then I promptly miscarried.
Yes.
So I went through 3 miscarriages, 3 years of fertility treatments. And then I got pregnant with my son. It wasn't a terribly easy pregnancy. But thank goodness I was not nauseous, because that just sounds horrible. I had pain and whatever.
It was terrible.
But my labor and delivery was good. And that was the only thing that was like, yes, I rock this.
Yeah.
Because the first few months I was okay, but then I had horrible postpartum depression. And I think there's a whole bunch of things that fed into that, but I was isolated. I didn't realize how important connecting with other people was, which is one reason why I run Guelph Moms Supporting Moms on Facebook, because it is a container where people can connect and have healthy relationships and support one another.
Yes.
And that's also I try and build that container around everything I do. So it should also be part of this event that I'm putting together, is that it's a safe space to share what you need to share. And I just am not the mom I thought I would be.
Ditto.
I thought I'd have a whole bunch of girls. I have a son. I have one son. I wanted to have a whole big family. And honestly, my son also has special needs. So that's a whole...
no one ever feels prepared for that, Tamsen. Right. No one. Yeah. And I was terrified. Beyond having a kid with a terminal diagnosis, I was terrified of autism. Terrified. Right.
Because I have a PhD in psychology, but I have no expertise with autism. I had no expertise with autism at all. I think of all the people you see who are low functioning, who can't talk, won't be touched, and bang their head on the wall.
Right.
And that's not,
but it's not true. It's so much, it's a spectrum, people, like everything else.
When my son was diagnosed at 5, I found it really hard to absorb it, because I knew he couldn't have autism, because he was affectionate. He loved hugs. He loves people. He makes great eye contact, right? You think of stereotypically people not wanting to make eye contact. He's fantastic.
Yeah.
And so having to adapt to a different motherhood journey is also part of changing your identity. And that's totally like, who actually has the family they expected?
I haven't met a single person. Not a single person. Nope.
Right.
No.
And
But that's
so,
the whole point. The
yeah.
children are here to challenge us and help us become who we're meant to be, right? So yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's one way of looking at
Right.
it.
I'm sorry. We differ on the whole meant to be thing.
Yes, I don't
that's
believe
okay.
in meant to be. I believe everything can be redeemed, and we have choices, and we have choices that we can make, and that underlies how we approach life.
Yes.
um, so that the backbone of the event was to give people that opportunity to take some time, not demanding a whole bunch of time, and actually look at themselves, look at their life, considering it's normal to need a bit of readjustment. How it has tended to come up in the group, it's interesting because now it's a lot of stuff coming up about work and how can I rearrange my life and what I want with work to stay home, or because I think we're recording this on, I'm looking at my calendar, 26th of February. Within the last week or two, the regulations about when you can send kids to school or daycare changed, right? So if your kid has the sniffles, you got to keep them home. And how many parents can really make that work?
Yeah.
It's really hard.
It is hard. It is hard.
Yeah. So just all those, the pandemic has made these things worse and challenging and put a whole other layer on top. But the problem exists, that our challenge to rediscover ourselves, reconnect with what we think success was there before.
Absolutely. Never mind the fact that our society basically expects you to push through illness, right? Like before the pandemic, it's like, you're not sick enough, you're going to school. Right?
So
now it's like,
you symptoms, got the sniffles, you stay home.
Yeah. So we live in an entirely different world, and our definitions. And again, sorry, I know we disagree on the meant to be thing, but I believe the world needed this pause, this reevaluation. So yeah. Anyway.
And I think we can learn things from it.
There's so many lessons here. Yes.
And one other thing, and it ties back to actually a conversation we had in your group about what success is. I've had so many conversations with women, in particular women, because I it's not that men don't experience this. I just tend to work more with women. That when we sort of often don't define success for ourselves outside of what other people expect of us or what society says we should do. I've had a lot of discussions with people about, I'll be happy when. Success is I'll be happy when, like for you and I both, it'll be when we're a mom. It'll be when we have our family. I was miserable for years and just so focused. And when I miscarried, I didn't give myself a chance to mourn the child that I lost. So it was just, what do I do next? How can I try again?
I need to fix it. Let's fix it.
Let's just push forward and
I need to get the thing that I want, which is the family.
And then I'll be happy. Yeah. And then when I have my family, I'll be happy. And
and then you're at home with a newborn going, okay, I did it. And now what?
I was a bit like that. There were those moments, but I also, I did the prenatal class. I did this. We had a nurse come in, but I honestly, the first few months, I was totally exhausted. I didn't feel great, but it was partially right around when my hormones shifted, because I realized my hair started falling out at the same time I started not being okay. And I started getting really anxious and not able to sleep. So there were a lot of different factors.
Sleep is key to mental health for sure.
And try to sleep well with a newborn. It's pretty much impossible.
Dare you. I have known a random few who had babies that slept right away, and I was very jealous. I will admit to being very jealous of that. I did not have that experience.
Either. But it was when I started to feel bad, I beat myself up so horribly. I talked to myself in such a negative way because I could only accept if I felt grateful or happy, because I finally had gotten what I was supposed to want. And how as a new mom can I complain about all the stuff that I had reasonably, being tired I'd expected, having to breastfeed it wasn't that it was unexpected. How can I complain about that now? I know. And so I've heard a lot of people any people who actually get to what they thought success was, it's not what they thought it doesn't feel the way they thought it would feel.
Yeah.
So it's also part of redefining success, I think, is actually accepting that you've got to really look at how can you feel successful today?
Right. Yes.
I don't know the exact quote, but there was, and I'm going to change it to person instead of man, because most old quotes have a wise man, blah, blah, blah.
A wise man.
It's something like most people search for happiness out there. The wise person grows it under their feet.
Oh, I love that.
We need to cultivate feeling successful and accomplished every day. Like, I know for me, my Guelph Mom Supporting Moms group lets me go to bed every night knowing I've helped people.
You helped people. Right? Absolutely.
And as a parent, I've talked to a bunch of people, and a lot of it comes, and not everybody, but a lot of it comes down to, I'll know I'm a successful parent when my child is an adult. Again, my interpretation of the big picture, when they're living a life according to my values.
Right. But I think about that and think about my mom looking at me. If that was her goal, so I will feel like a success when, and I'm only one of 4, but nonetheless, when my kid is grown and successful in life, my mother has watched me get divorced, lose my job, end my relationship with the father of my children, and like, wait, what? Am I a successful parent or not? Like, I think about my mom, but that's the whole thing, is when you look at the big picture and you list all of those things, and this is the thing, is it's been actually a huge shift for me, is that I no longer say I had 2 failed relationships. I had 2 relationships that ended, because there's a big distinction between the 2 of them. I learned from both my first marriage and being with the father of my kids. I've been working on my self-care and my identity, which is why I'm so excited to help you and help the whole community with this redefining success. But I had to do that for me, and redefining the success, I intended to, if you had asked 18-year-old me, who had fell in love with my high school sweetheart and got married forever, big, 2 kids, steady job. Do I have any of those? No, I have personally had to redefine my success. But exactly what you're saying, Tamsen, is now every single day I do my morning pages where I have a question in my book. I would know that today was a great success if at the end of the day I did, said, or felt this, is the question I answer every single day. Yes. So I choose
journal.
Something.
It's an awesome tool. Journaling is a fabulous tool.
It's a fabulous tool. So knowing, and my answer to that question yesterday was, I want to feel connected to my kids. And this is the whole thing, is in my journey in redefining success, when I lost my job, again, I like to look for the opportunities rather than the obstacles. And I'm like, I'm not going to work for someone. I'm going to be self-employed. Yeah, it's going to be challenged, because that third success that I wanted in my life, steady job, because my parents both tried their hand at entrepreneurship, were not very successful, like not at all successful, but that's okay. I can learn from that. But I was like rejecting it. I'm like, I am not an entrepreneur. I am not doing that. I am 100% an entrepreneur. I always have been. I was scared. So I bust through my fear. Now I'm doing it. Now I choose my hours so that when I have my kids on my days, because we have shared 50-50 custody, I get to pick my kids up from school. I choose to not work after 3:00 on those days. That's my choice. So, but again, that's a redefinition of success, right? To me, I feel successful because I get to dedicate that time to my kids. I am blessed, but that's based on the choice that I made. So, Tamsen, tell me, so on Sunday, I know you and I could talk about our experiences for days on end, but let's talk about the week. So on Sunday, March the 7th, we're going to have a connecting get-together kickoff intro. Talk to me about what's going to happen that day.
I'm going to talk a bit about the program and what I'm hoping people will do with the combination meditation journaling program. Awesome. Kimberly Ravando Robb is also coming. She and I have done a course together that is an introduction to journaling course. So the course that I am presenting in the event can be used by people who are really new at it, or who have done it for a while, because the prompts are very targeted for achieving the goal of redefining success for yourself. But I wanted to invite Kimberly because some people might be intimidated by journaling, or they might feel like they don't want to, because one of the things she talks about, and that we dug into in the course, is you don't have to write.
Wait, isn't that what journaling is, Tamsen?
She's like, you can do audio recording, you can do a video journal, you can write. I love to write. A lot of us love to write. But
paper and pen is my friend. Yes.
Yeah, or you can type. I don't want people who don't want to write to be held back from exploring themselves. Right.
Yes.
So we'll talk about that a little bit.
Awesome. Kimberly is fantastic. FYI to everyone.
Yes.
Tamsen is fantastic. You get Tamsen's wisdom for this week, which I'm so excited about. But Tamsen is a connector of people.
I love collaborating.
I know.
So I meant to do this one journaling thing for the week, have a kickoff and a wrap up, and I started talking to people, and it's like, oh, you can do this too, and
you can do this. Oh, and hey, so let's bring your expertise in. Yeah.
Yes, because there are so many different ways you can reconnect with yourself, so many different tools you can use.
Yeah.
And so I wanted, and I love introducing people. So hopefully, if you experience something that's awesome, you'll follow up with them and do more work with them. So Kimberly also runs, I think she calls it the Moms.
Moms.
Where you can come and do a more like live experience. She likes to do it in person. Obviously, that's a problem these days. But what I do with my journaling is more meant for you to do it on your own time. So it's a similar thing, but a different feel to it.
Yeah.
So that's happening on the Sunday, the 7th. Monday is, I'm so excited. We're doing an improv event. Haley Kellett from the Making Box is coming.
The Making Box in Guelph is fantastic. So I've never met Haley, so I'm looking forward to this.
And she's doing a workshop which is intended to help us connect better, whether it's in person, but particularly these days when sometimes we don't get to be in person. We're doing a lot of Zoom, a lot of online. Yep. So it's how to use improv techniques to have a more connecting experience online.
Cool.
I'm so excited. I'm excited about everything.
So now if they can't attend live, the recording will be available.
I'm recording. Yes, I'm planning on recording everything except the last event. I will record the kind of wrap up, but it is also intended to be a meet and greet, which is obviously not going to be recorded. Yeah. So Tuesday, Chantal Aslin is coming and we're doing half an hour of yoga. And then, yes.
I have to talk about Chantal because Chantal is one of my dearest friends. Chantal, I have known Chantal, both of us. I met Chantal and started attending Chantal's yoga classes before she had kids and before I had kids.
Oh, wow.
So we have known each other for a very long time. And part of my redefining success journey that I've been on over the last couple of years, since my kids are now 8 and 9, and I feel like I have breathing space to actually pay attention to what I want. Also with relationship changes, also need to figure out what I want. Oh, sorry. You'll have to bleep that out.
Yeah.
Anyway, but rediscovering yoga. So I've gone to Chantal over the years. I wanted to do, I wanted to be this fit pregnant woman, and it did not happen. So, and then afterwards I was so overwhelmed. I felt like I was drowning. And so I didn't do yoga, but during the pandemic, I have rediscovered Chantal and we're closer than ever. She's always been my friend, but now she's doing Zoom yoga, and I do Zoom yoga literally every week with her. I've done 2 month-longs with her. Chantal is the most accepting, loving yoga instructor I have ever participated with. She's amazing. I could speak for days on end about how amazing Chantal is. Back to you, Tamsen. What else is going on?
We are doing, she's going to lead us through half an hour of yoga. which I think our session is starting at 10:30. So we're going to leave 15 minutes for people to come in and deal with tech issues and whatever. So then she's going to do half an hour of yoga. And then we're going to talk about yoga and the importance of movement as a tool for connecting with ourselves and what that looks like for being successful, because she's a really interesting person to talk to about the way things look. She's like, Instagram yoga has done a disservice to so many people because the focus on how it looks is not the point.
It's not the point.
And it's also, you've mentioned a few times, and I experienced too, like our bodies change. So that's a whole other level of needing to redefine what is it going to be successful in looking the way we want to look? Like, can we even get there again? So we'll dig into that a bit.
Awesome.
Wednesday is a special edition of my friend Teresa Chakowski's office hours. So she helps parents and caregivers of kids about 2 to 10, and she's focused on play. Learning doesn't have to be hard and excruciating and annoying. Use play as a learning and skill building opportunity. We're talking about stress.
Perfect. So this will be good. The
topic is stress. So again, successfully managing stress before you have kids is just, do I feel okay? Can I feel okay? Can I hang on? But I think most parents, especially those of us who have somewhat anxious kids, if we're stressed out, we pass it on.
Right.
And we also want to get our kids to the point that they can handle their own stress. So we need to handle our stress for us, our stress so we don't pass it to them, but also manage their stress and teach them how to successfully manage it for themselves eventually.
They need the tools, absolutely.
Tools and strategies, and
Teresa's great for that. Yes,
so that's the topic on Wednesday.
Amazing.
Yeah, and Thursday is another friend that you introduced me to, Natalie Merritt Broderick. She is an inspirational creative artist. We're going to talk about, and she has said it's going to be a surprise.
So Tamsen, FYI, everyone, Tamsen's like, so I need to tell people if they need to bring stuff and be prepared. And Natalie's saying nothing. It's so exciting. It's going to be amazing. She's phenomenally creative and she is so inspiring. We've been friends for years and she is such a role model for me and I love it. Creativity, fun, and color. Always so much color with Natalie. I love it. So fun.
So we are going to be doing something to explore redefining success and rediscovering ourselves with creativity. Yes. Friday is a panel talking about rediscovering work and what does successful work look like now.
Yeah. Yes.
That has come up in my group a whole bunch of times in the last few weeks.
It's a big deal. Yeah.
Especially with the pandemic, it's come up a whole bunch of times. My friend Rachel Dupre is awesome. She's a career coach for rebels. She helps people find a career, build a career that is unconventional and fulfilling.
Yeah. I'm excited to meet Rachel. Yes.
Yeah. My friend Audrey Christofori is another person who's going to be part of that panel. She is building a course to help mostly teens find what their gifts are and to help them start or continue their journey to finding a life with purpose, which isn't just something you do when you're not working. It's something you do through your work.
Yeah. So that's that whole reconnect to self part of this whole redefine success, right? That's connecting with yourself.
And why not start early?
Right?
So that might be of interest for people with somewhat older kids, but I also think that the same principles a lot of us need to do for ourselves.
All the moms, redefine. All the moms, all the moms, yeah.
And you are planning on being there as well and talking about how community and we need people around us and connection to successfully navigate these big changes and what work should be. And then Saturday is kind of the wrap up. I'm hoping to have an opportunity to meet and greet in a very online informal style. I'm still trying to make sure. The last time I ran an event in December, it was awesome, except people couldn't join from mobile.
Oh,
So I'm looking to try to fix that, but it may
okay.
end up being only something that people can, the presentation part, which is the wrap up of the program, anyone should
Yeah.
be able to attend. But there's Air Meet is the program, and there's a social lounge, which allows 5-minute one-on-one
Oh, cool.
random matching, like speed networking, but get to know someone.
Fun.
And little tables where you can sit down
Okay.
and have conversations. It was a great experience. It was fun, but a bunch of people wanted to attend and couldn't because you can't do the social lounge on mobile. I'm going to see what's going on. I may end up not using that program if it's not going to serve the purpose.
Cool.
But yeah,
good stuff.
So we are pretty much running out of time. I better wrap it up. If you want to find out, if anyone watching, if this event sounds really great for you, you can find out more, get your ticket at tamsen.ca/success. I will put that right on the screen.
Right on the screen.
And if it happens to be, so the event runs from March 7th to March 13th, 2021 is this year. You can get your ticket. Recordings will be available for longer than a week after. I forget the exact date, the Sunday after. So the next day, a week after, the 14th plus a week.
Plus a week. So March 21st. Got it.
So I'm going to be selling tickets up until about noon of the day of the mixer. That's 3 to 4.
March 7th. Gotcha.
So you can't get a ticket after that. But if you get your ticket, hopefully you'll get your ticket well before then so you can attend everything live. But if you want a ticket to come to the live event, you can get it that day until noon.
Perfect.
And then still watch all the replays and do the program for the next week. So, but if you're listening to this after March 21st at noon, Eastern Standard Time, that the tamsen.ca/success link will take you to the program I have that is most appropriate to serve the purpose of reconnecting with yourself.
Yeah. So high level, Redefine Your Success is a week-long event that includes journaling, meditations, and an event each day, which is focused on moms reconnecting with themselves, focus on self-care. So you can either do the events live, you can listen to the recordings, but the meditation and journaling is like 10 minutes a day. So if that's the only thing you do, totally worth it.
A lot of value out of it, I think.
Yeah.
And it's partially that before, I love the self-care idea. I think we need a lot more of it. I also think it's a bit overused.
Yeah. And self-care is not like, I'm going to go get a pedicure, because that doesn't work for all of us. You need to reconnect with yourself so you know how you fill your cup so that you are energized and you can step forward with your best self.
Yeah. Pedicure is not going to do it for me, I'll tell you, but talking with you is awesome.
Exactly.
So you need to learn about yourself, redefine your own success, reconnect with what you need, because it's not going to be the same as everyone else.
Absolutely.
Thank you for this conversation, Shannon.
Thank you, Tamsen. I'm so excited for the event.
Me too.
Excellent. Okay. Thanks everyone for listening.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
So I hope you found that episode useful, fun, interesting. If you'd like to give me feedback of any sort, I'd really appreciate it. You can private message me through Facebook. You can reach me through the Guelph Moms Supporting Moms Facebook group, or you can email me at tamsen@tamsenconnects.com. And I hope to see you back here again. Bye.